Hey, welcome to this live stream. Thank you so much for joining. Let me know that you can see me and you can hear me, and then we'll get started. It is a bit different to the live streams that I have done in the past. So, usually I'm obviously either chatting about art supplies or showing you something or painting. But I wanted to use this opportunity to do a live stream similar to the one that I did a few months ago, where I essentially just answer questions about YouTube, demystify the process a little bit, but also do some channel reviews, which I haven't done before, just giving some feedback on some of the wonderful art channels that we have in our current community. So it's very different, but I thought that it would be helpful and it would be something that I kind of wish I had more access to when I was starting off. So that's what's kind of inspired it. So if you enjoy this video, if you want to see more videos like this, then be sure to like the video, which I always forget to ask, but I'm just going to get it out of the way now. If you want your channel to be reviewed in the future, then I've left a link in the description. And if you complete it and there's enough people, then I'll be able to do that in the future. Now, so many people left their channels for review, which I really, really appreciate. But unfortunately, it was more than I could do in a live stream or like, especially because I really wanted to give a lot of thought to the reviews that I was doing. So I did look through all the channels and I did kind of pick up on perhaps the more common themes of things that people were struggling with. And then I also took a list of questions that I'd been asked. So I'll answer the questions and then I'll do the channel reviews. And if, as I'm doing this, you have questions that you want to ask or you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel and you want to ask some questions, then please feel free to do so. It is indeed happening today, Tara. Hey, David. Hey, a watercolorist. And my journey to become a professional artist. Welcome to the live stream as well. So yeah, I did a live stream in the early hours of the morning, but that was like painting and an art haul, and honestly, just chatting with you guys for an hour and a half. I really, really enjoyed it. This one will not be as long as that one, but it will be fun. So if you have questions about YouTube, feel free to ask them. I have tried to be as open as possible. I will be looking down because I've made some notes, but I will try to be as open as possible. Like, you'll have seen that I've made videos about how much money I've made, about the mistakes that I've made, about how to start on YouTube, all of that good stuff. But I feel like sometimes having an open dialogue can just make life a little bit easier. So let me start off with the questions that I received, and then we can do some of the channel reviews. The first question that I got was, are live streams more profitable, I assume, than shorts or than normal long form videos? And I feel like the answer for my channel is no, they are not more profitable than long form videos. My highest earning videos by far are the videos that I have edited. And that is primarily because the way that YouTube pays you is per 1,000 views. And typically my edited videos get more views than my live streams. So with live streams or with YouTube as a whole, you're not getting paid for how long people are watching. Although in theory, if they're watching for a really long time, there's more opportunities for advertisers to put adverts in there, which might mean that the video itself may get paid a little bit more for 1,000 views, but ultimately it's per 1,000 views. So because my channels, my live streams don't tend to get that many views, the long form videos will always do better. However, the live streams will always do better than shorts in terms of making money. I do find that live streams serve a bit of a different purpose in that they can foster a sense of community. They give you the opportunity to talk like we are talking now, where if you ask a question, I'll be able to answer it back and forth, and we'll be able to have a bit more of a dialogue. So I find that it's like better for community building, but it doesn't necessarily make more money. It may get a higher CPM. So basically, advertisers may pay more for 1,000 views, but then you need the video to get more reach in order for it to get viewed for, in order for it to make more money. I hope that makes sense. Long story short, my highest earning videos are all videos that I have edited myself. And some YouTube live streams that I have done, advertisers have paid quite a lot for 1,000 views. However, because they tend to get less views, overall, they tend to make less money. I hope that makes sense. Um, then another question was, can you grow without editing? Um, and I think like the question was a little bit more nuanced than this, but it was essentially someone talking about how they really struggle with editing. And, is that a deterrent for YouTube? Is there a way to kind of get around that? And they'd also mentioned using Canva for thumbnails. I use Canva for all my thumbnails. I love Canva. I love the free plan. It's Bay. I use Canva not only for my thumbnails, but also for doing like my title screens when I'm doing YouTube videos or my overlays. So any effects that you're seeing on any video, I'm doing it on Canva. And I use iMovie, just in case anyone's interested. I use iMovie, which is a free software that comes with Apple like with Macs to edit all my videos as well. And when my Mac was broken, I was using InShot to edit my videos on my phone. So I'm still at that stage where I'm using free things to edit. Um, but in answer to the question, can you grow your channel without editing? I think the answer is yes. I think, especially in the art community, there is people enjoy, for example, people, although my live streams may not get as many views as my edited videos, people do enjoy that kind of real-time element to seeing someone create art, or real-time element to someone chatting and going through stuff with you. Even for example, I think like a good example of this might be like even Sandy Hester, for example. I'm not saying that she doesn't edit her videos, she does, but you can see that there are some times where she's literally just talking to the camera, or she's doing something and talking overhead. Lindsay the Frugal Crafter as well will sometimes do videos that almost feel like one take videos where she may pause and then come back and kind of pick up from there. But there isn't any, and this is no disrespect to them, I love both of their channels. You don't need like this elaborate editing. You don't need to put titles before each bit. You don't need to put animations. You don't need to do any of that if you don't want to. Like there is definitely, I think, a group of people who are attracted to that, and those are just two channels that have perhaps less editing or more just less complicated editing, that would literally just involve cutting the end of one video and adding it to another and doing that. And even if that in itself was perhaps too challenging, then you can always turn to things like live streaming. I can't edit this live stream. I can't edit any of my live streams, and that is one of the things that I think sometimes puts people off. But I think that is also one of the reasons that there's a beauty behind them, and it removes the pressure of editing because you'll know that you won't be able to. So that's just my take on it. Yes, you can have a channel if you don't edit, but if you were to try and edit, I think even if you were to try and focus on doing small cuts, or stopping your camera as soon as you know that you're done or you want to cut something out and then starting again, that would be better than absolutely no edits. But ultimately, creating a video with no edits is better than not creating a video at all. Let me catch up. Oh, good question. What software do you use for editing, and has anyone tried OpenShot or Shotcut? So I use iMovie because it's free and it came with my laptop. And I think for me, the main and only con with iMovie is adding text over doing titles. If I just want to do text that isn't moving, iMovie for reasons unknown seems to struggle with that. It can do the Star Wars text, it can do the almost the text like it's with the credits, it can do all these fancy effects, but just text that appears, it can't do. So normally what I have to do in order to do something like that is go on Canva and add it over as a picture. But everything else it can do. So I haven't felt inclined to start paying for any software in order to edit. And that may change in the future, but for now I'm really happy with what I have. but I haven't used OpenShot. I've used InShot, but not OpenShot or Shotcut. Then let me see what's next. Oh, I could not read my own handwriting. Can you imagine? Do I have chats with other art YouTubers? I didn't really understand the question. If the question is like, am I hosting some sort of like secret society? No. No, I'm not. I do sometimes like chat with other art YouTubers, like creating cute art. I love chatting to also Moni D Major when she's free. I love chatting to her as well. Hamrib, Temi Danso. So there are a few art YouTubers that I will talk to from time to time. But I don't have like chats or anything like that, or like a group chat or anything like that. It's just sometimes if I like being part of the community. So if I watch a video of theirs that I like, I'll comment on that. Or if they post something on their Instagram story that I think is funny, I will reply to that. Or if they post a post on Instagram, I'll reply to that as well. So yeah, sometimes I talk to them. Asha, art supply holders anonymous. Well, that's the thing. I don't know if that's what the question was alluding to. So I do have a Ko-fi membership, and on there I obviously chat with my members like daily, and chat about art supplies and everything else, but not specifically art YouTubers. Um, then okay, this is a good question, and it's essentially like when to delete YouTube comments. Um, And it's funny because depending on when you would have asked me, my answer would have been different. So initially, my answer was that I wanted my YouTube to kind of be a space for everyone, and what that meant was that I wouldn't delete comments because I wanted everyone to kind of be able to say whatever they wanted whenever they wanted. I kind of saw it like our YouTube, right? And I still see it as our YouTube, but the more I've been doing this, the more I've been prioritizing protecting my peace and also protecting the community that we're building. So now I am more liberal when it comes to deleting comments. If a comment makes me feel some type of way, and this is not to say that the person meant harm or the person was trying to insult me or upset me or anything like that, but I have a lower threshold. If I don't like a comment, I would rather delete it and not have it there than have it there and be wondering like, what does it really mean? Is it going? And this isn't always like if it's an attack on me, like some comments are just ridiculous, but it's even if it's a comment that I think is going to upset other people in the group. If I'm not sure, I would rather just delete it and have my peace. So now I basically say, um, with regards to comments, if a comment makes you feel uncomfortable, if a comment stresses you out, or a comment brings out a negative feeling, I think it's your channel. Do what you want. and delete the comment. And if the person, happens to be a troll or whatever, you can take it one step further and you can actually just block them so that nobody will see their comments moving forward. So I'm basically a lot more liberal with it now, basically. Oh, thank you so much for stopping by, Peyton Hiding. Sleep well. Um oh, thank you, Dana. Super generous of you to do this with your time. You are more than welcome. I think it's just more so that I don't know. I've spent a lot of time watching videos about growing on YouTube and watching videos about mistakes made on YouTube. I've obviously been doing YouTube for almost 3 years now. And yeah, I just feel like sometimes what um it's hard to know what you don't know. It's hard to know what mistakes you're making. It's just easier to have a conversation with someone about YouTube. And I don't feel like there's that many spaces to do it. And I also think that it's quite nuanced. So a tech channel will not, the rules for a tech channel will not necessarily apply to an art channel, nor a fashion channel to our channel. Um, so that's why. Um, The next question, so that's my question. Be liberal when deleting comments. If you're not sure, if it upsets you, just delete it. It's your channel. You can do what you like. And then another great question was how to not focus on your analytics. And I'm actually quite terrible at this because I check my analytics way too much, like way, way, way too much. I check it a lot if my channel is doing badly, like and don't get me wrong, like I'm grateful for the channel and I can see that the channel is growing, but sometimes YouTube will, like for example, from August till November, everything on my channel was downtrending, and it's hard not to look when you see it just like downward arrow, your views downward arrow, your number of subscribers downward arrow, your watch time downward arrow. So I'd watch it and be like, oh, has it improved, has it not? And then when it started doing better, I would watch it all the time because it's like finally it's improving. But ultimately I think that the easiest way would be I've set a rule on my phone so that it locks the studio after a certain period of time. And if you have to bookmark a certain part of it, this is what I got from creating cute art. You can bookmark the comments part of the studio so that when you go onto that bit, you automatically go to the comments. You don't go to the homepage that shows you the analytics, because ultimately looking at it, unless you have like a mega channel with a team behind you and you're able to pump out a whole bunch of content really quickly, looking at it daily is just a waste of time, and it will take you away from actually creating videos. It will take you away from actually dedicating time to art or anything else, because you'll be looking at numbers when the numbers aren't making sense. And Derwood's credit score. Oh, I'm so scared to check my credit score. But yeah, that would be my advice. Bookmark the comments so that you can go straight on there and still engage with your community and focus on that. Don't hyperfixate on the numbers as much as you can. It's easier said than done. Hey Melanie, welcome. We are just having a chat about YouTube, growing on art YouTube. I'm using this as an opportunity to answer any and all questions that people may have about YouTube, especially if they are thinking of starting a channel. I was just looking for my phone to see if there were any extra questions. But if you do have questions, then please feel free to ask them. And then another question that I got that I'm going to read out because it was a really good one, but it was longer, so I didn't write it down. Was where are you? Hold on one second. Okay, here's the question. So it said, I was posting 2 videos a week for a while, but then I found that my artwork was suffering. So now I've gone back to posting once a week and I'm happier with my work, but my subscribers and my views have decreased. Should I push myself to post more? I would say do not push yourself to post more because ultimately I think that the quality of your work and the enjoyment that you have in your creativity trumps the algorithm. And I think that if you try to push yourself more, all that will happen is you'll get burnt out and then you'll stop making videos. So slow and steady definitely wins the race when it comes to YouTube. A lot of the time, if you watch different channels that give advice, they'll tell you that, YouTube is a marathon, not a sprint. And that is true. You have to build and create something that is sustainable, that you will enjoy. There is no point creating a channel where it's built upon you posting twice a week and creating art that you don't like, because that's not a channel that you will want to continue. So I definitely recommend when a lot of the time when people are talking about consistency, it just more so means setting some sort of schedule where people know what to expect from you. So it doesn't mean that you have to post every day or twice a week or even once a week. It just means that people know when to expect you. So I think that usually once a week is helpful, but there are plenty of channels like Sandy Hester, for example, who posts twice a month. I think Margot Halleck, I may have gotten her surname wrong, but Margot also posts twice a month. Moni D Major posts less, but when she posts, like you just run to watch her channel straight away because it's amazing. So it's all a question of just doing what actually works for you rather than trying to force yourself to pump out lots of content. When you're starting off, like at the very, very beginning, accept that the quality isn't going to be 100% and still push through and still create. So I think at that point, you're not trying to be like perfect, you know? But once you get to a point, I don't, I think basically, I don't think you should sacrifice the quality of your art for YouTube. I don't think it will benefit anybody in the long run, would be my answer to that question. And I think that was it for the questions that people asked. Um, and oh no, there's another one. The other question was, does having a mixed media approach damage the channel? I think long answer short is no, it doesn't damage your channel as long as there is some sort of common thread between the videos that you're creating and the art that you're creating. So, for example, I am now branching into mixed media, but I don't think it's harming my channel because I'm very aware of, watercolor and gouache being my first primary mediums, and they were, and technically that is mixed media, but still that's fine. If I now went from, because I'm still very much in the art space, and thus if I am creating something with acrylics, it can somehow tie into like using watercolors sometimes as well. So basically it's not harm me. I'm still appealing to the same kind of group of people. If my channel was primarily previously just a how to paint watercolor tutorials channel, then perhaps it would suffer if I was trying to pivot. But because I was just exploring and sharing my art journey, and now part of my art journey involves other media, I think it's naturally evolving. And like Lee Ellickson, I feel like she does mixed media. Katie Moody also does mixed media. Sandy Hester does mixed media. Emma Carlisle does mixed media. TJ Marston does mixed media. So there's definitely a space for artists who like using a number of different medias to create art. So I don't think that you should let YouTube or the algorithm deter you. You just want to make sure that it makes sense and that you are appealing to the same or the right group of people. Like you have an image of who you are creating videos for, and you know that they would be interested in that. If I now, for example, all of a sudden started making piano videos, my channel would suffer. Or if I started making like, if my channel moved into like very, very um, crafty kind of things, I think my channel would suffer then too, because I feel like there is a connection, but there is a difference between people who are very, very crafty and people who are artists and do art as a hobby. So just like be mindful of that. I do feel like also, for me, one of the biggest channels out there, I think even the biggest art channels out there, they are mixed media. So Frugal, Lindsay the Frugal Crafter, is one of them. Ray Dizzle, I think, is another. So if you want to do mixed media, you can do mixed media. You just have to think about who you're making the videos for and make sure that you're still creating videos that they would be interested in. Um, oh, interesting. My two art classes that are trending into mixed media. I'm not an expert, but maybe it's becoming a thing. I think mixed media is definitely becoming a thing. I think that a lot of people are showing a lot of interest in mixed media. I think that jelly plates at the moment are also trending. Like everything seems to go in yeah, things just tend to like trend, and people tend to kind of follow certain trends in everything, art included. So obviously there was a point where everyone was talking about schminke super granulating paints, and then Roman Schmall, and then like, you just go through, and then Ohuhu's at some point, and they're kind of in that phase now. But also I think that now people are moving towards mixed media because there's a freedom that comes from it. And I think ultimately, and also intuitive art seems to be something that people are really interested in. I think because there's like a lack of rules, there's freedom. and people enjoy that. Oh no, my mouse stopped working. Art supply and swatching videos are the draw for a lot of people on YouTube. Yes, no, I agree. That is a very good point. So it is interesting, although I do feel like I do feel like art hauls and swatching videos are slightly coming down a little bit more. I think maybe because so many people have made, so many people have made swatching videos and so many people have made art haul videos that now I think people tend to be looking for something that's art haul, yes, but also art created with it that just has a little bit more substance. But also equally is very, like you said, though, it's very difficult to find really good swatches and it's very difficult to see a color up close and see how it behaves. So swatching videos will continue to be popular for that reason because it's actually helpful as well as relaxing and entertaining. So it's a good thing. But I think there's a way to do it. And um and that includes adding your own personality to it or your own art to it, because I think sometimes people are just getting tired of just seeing supply and nothing else, or art supply and absolutely nothing else. And ultimately, how many swatching videos of one set would you need to watch before you're like done with it? Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like with art hauls, and don't get me wrong, I love, love, love art hauls, and I make lots of art haul videos. But I do feel sometimes like a sense of conviction. The more like if I do lots too close together, or just in general, I think that ultimately people want to see more art created. But you know what? I say that with I say that with a pinch of salt because I feel like people want both, because when I make videos where I'm just creating my art, they don't do as well. Let me be real. People be like, no, we want depth, we want substance, we want to know about your art journey. I share all those videos. They won't do as well as an art haul. It is true. But if I just do an art haul where I'm just showing the supplies and nothing else, they don't tend to do as well. If I do an art haul where I'm using the supplies and I'm genuinely happy and excited and I'm following my curiosity, they will do very well. So it's a mixture of both. Mm, um, we all do. A watercolorist, true to the name. You love watching swatching videos. Yeah, art haul videos are very nice to watch, but there are so many of them. And I think there are so many of them because they get views ultimately. So it's the name of the game. Sometimes you've got to do things for the algorithm, and also I think they bring joy to the creator as well as those watching it. So it's it works. Oh, thank you, Melanie. You love watching my techniques. Thank you. And watching videos. Does anyone have any questions? If not, I feel like I will start doing some channel reviews. Well, I will try to do some channel reviews. I was trying to share the screen before and it wasn't really working. And these are art channels that have asked for my opinion. Any and all feedback that I give will obviously be given in kindness, and I will try to give at least one piece of constructive criticism to everyone, because I feel like doing a review where I say everything is perfect isn't that helpful if you're asking for a review, because I'm assuming that you want something to change or to reflect on. Mm. Oh, thank you, Derwent. Um, What am I doing? That's what I feel like people enjoy though. Like I had so much fun with that video where the focus wasn't just on the art supplies, but actually just playing with them and experimenting with them. Am I frozen? Oh gosh. hopefully it will come back in a second. Let me just get my phone so that I can see if the stream is still going. Sorry about this. As as you may know, I have been having issues with my laptop, and I think that trying to push it to trying to push it to two live streams in one day was just too much for it. So for me, it's completely frozen, but I'm still talking because I know that last time that this happened, you guys could hear me. Frozen, but I'm still talking. Okay, yeah. I think I've gone on YouTube on my phone and I can see that you can hear me. Okay, so I'm sorry about it being frozen in mid sentence, but I can see what you're saying and I will continue to. Well, I guess I have to chat for a little while because I won't be able to share my screen. Um, so let me just see. I don't think that there are any extra questions on here, but at least I can see. Um, I can see Colleen. Oh, Colleen, you've changed. So having the reviews of things the channel is doing well, but also things that could be improved is much help. I completely agree, though. But there's just something so nice about having live streams in the background. I also like chatting in live streams every so often, anyway. Um, while I wait for my computer to unfreeze, this is so annoying. Let me just pretend this is a podcast and tell you what equipment I use, which I've linked down below in the description anyway, but I hope that it may be helpful. So my microphone is the Blue Yeti microphone. And I feel like ultimately, if I were to advise someone starting on YouTube, I feel like it's important to invest in the microphone because people will tolerate bad visuals a lot more than they would tolerate bad audio. Also investing in a sense of light, like a good source of light. If you have a gigantic window with nice lighting, then that's perfect. You don't need to buy a light. But if you don't, especially because it's an art channel, then I think it is worth investing in a light. And then only then should you start thinking about things like cameras. I feel like, in my opinion, I am still using my phone to record. Um, and that has served me very well. But when I look back on my other videos, I can tell when the sound was not great, and that is what I feel like hindered and damaged those videos a lot more than my camera. At the moment, I'm using a webcam um to do live streams, and then I use my overhead camera. I use my phone to do my overhead shots. So I feel like those are the main things that I would recommend. As I say, the Blue Yeti I think is like 80 to 90 pounds now, and then you can use your phone, and as long as you have really good lighting, you'll get away with it. I edit my videos using iMovie because it's free, and that works well for me. I make my thumbnails on Canva again because it's free and it works really well. And if you want to use Canva Pro, you can, and then you just get a few extra features. My tripod is another investment that I made, and this I actually made thanks to Ko-fi members who were able to support the channel. And through their support, I was actually able to buy this to just get like steady overhead. So this is probably one of the more expensive things that I have, and it's a K&F concept overhead tripod. Do you need it? Not absolutely. Like, you can make do with other things. I have used like smaller tripods and kind of recorded from the side, and they have worked as well. But I think if you want to do that like nice overhead, this is the easiest way that I have found that I do it. And that is pretty much the majority of my, or the main. Oh, tell a lie. Another thing, a hard drive. A hard drive is so helpful, because you end up making so many videos and using up so much memory. It's just helpful to have a hard drive to not only store the files, but also to do your editing on, so that you're not doing all the editing and using all that power from your laptop. Mm, Good morning, Miss Ebony. I am indeed frozen. I can't. Honestly, I don't even know what my phone, like, I don't know what is going on with my laptop. Um, I mean, to be fair, thanks to Kofi, I was able to, let me see, is everything frozen? Yeah, thanks to Kofi, I was able to repair it. But since repairing it, it has still very much struggled. I guess the good thing has been, however, that it's been able to turn on. But yeah, normally it's come back by now, but it hasn't. So I'm gonna give it a few more minutes, and if it doesn't come back, then don't know what we'll do. We shall see. Well, I guess if it doesn't come back, then I will probably wait until it does come back and then restart the live stream. Worst case scenario. At the moment, I mean, I can't even stop the live stream. All this to say, I guess in theory, invest in a good laptop. Not to say that mine isn't good, but it is old and it is really struggling. Yeah, no, unfortunately I can't stop it without um because it's just all completely frozen. So, and I should say this isn't an issue with the streaming software that I'm using, which is StreamYard, by the way, and I'll leave that linked down below in the description as well. Um, this isn't an issue with them or an issue with YouTube. I think this is just an issue with my laptop. Oh, are we back? I feel like I'm moving again. And we move. I'm so sorry about that, but I hope that me being frozen wasn't too distracting for you. Uh, you haven't got a laptop or a hard drive too, and that's a very good point, Colleen. In theory, if you don't have a laptop, you can use your phone, or sometimes people will also use an iPad to edit. I just find it too hard to do that. um, for me personally, just because the screens are small. So I like having a big screen. Thank you all for waiting. I'm sorry about that. My literally, yeah, I need a new laptop. I feel so tired of saying that I need a new laptop, and yet every live stream and every video, something happens that just says, "Look, you need a new laptop." Um, yeah, my laptop's probably still recovering from the last 5-hour live stream that we did earlier today. Oh, thank you so much, Lara. Welcome. Thank you all so much for waiting. I'm really sorry about that. Let me start sharing the screen so that we can do the reviews before any more funny business. So the first channel that I would like to review, and feel free to, I will link the channels at the end for you. So if you see a channel that you like, then by all means feel free to follow them and support them as well, because um all the channels are like really good growing channels basically. So okay, good. Just wanted to see what you can see. So this first channel is Amanda Ray Art, and she has 803 subscribers, has made 76 videos. The channel has grown quite significantly since I actually put up the request, but I've made a few notes, and my first thought is that I love the banner, I love the picture that she has here because I assume that it's her art and it's a self-portrait. There's an intro, and this is kind of a point to everyone of just optimizing this space. I hope, can you see my mouse? Yes, of just optimizing this space that you have here to grab people's attention. So have your name, but also when you're doing the about me. So if you click on that, for example, it will appear. Just be mindful that if you do hey and then write like 5 spaces because you're trying to format it in a really nice way, then all that will show in this first bit will be hey. And as you can see, Amanda has written more information about her, which is nice. So off the bat, you know that she makes traditional and digital art. And then she's also put some helpful links, which is great. Um, Let me go to the actual home bit. So when you go to the home bit, it depends, and let me know what your thoughts are. So some people will have, like I tend to have a video that starts playing automatically to just kind of give the feel of the channel. I feel like it might be worth considering having that. And if not that, then perhaps more sections. So something like the videos, which is this bit to kind of say the most recent videos, but then also having a section for the most popular videos so that people who come can automatically be grabbed by your most popular videos, and then once they're invested in you, can decide to watch the other videos that you've made more recently. I've watched a couple of the videos, and my thoughts were that the editing was really nice. There was good audio, there's good lighting. Like if I show you something here, but you know, these ads, there's so many ads now, but basically there was like good audio, there's good angles, there's good video ideas, with this being a oh my gosh, another ad, a sketchbook tour. The only with regards to the ads, I don't know if this is something that people can control, but sometimes if it is that you are controlling the ads, then just space them out a little bit more, because we got 2 ads in less than 30 seconds. If you're not controlling the ads, then it might be worth considering doing that, because as you could see, I got an ad before we started, and then like 10 seconds into the video, because I tried to skip forward, I got another ad. The other notes that I made was I was looking at the 30, if I look at more videos, and I'll show you guys more videos as well. So essentially, I say the channel's optimized well. I love the thumbnails. You can clearly see the text like art vlog, happy mail, sketchbook tour, September art vlog. So you get like a really good idea about what the video is. Titles, I think the titles are pretty good as well. I think some of them could be optimized a little bit more for being something that people would search for, right? So search friendly isn't enough to just make it something that is trending. It has to be like, if I, a human, were looking for something and typing something, what would I type? Um, and I wouldn't type painting a portrait of Rihanna, but I may type, how do I paint Rihanna? Something like that, you know? And just thinking about how humans will use it. And there are some features like vidIQ has some features where you can put in a title idea and it will search YouTube and give you a better recommendation. But ultimately, I really like the thumbnails and the videos. And what else did I write? So I wrote clear and aesthetic images and the thumbnails. Sometimes the text could be a bit clearer, but ultimately I really liked it. I thought that the 100 heads challenge, was it this one, was really nice as well. Just I made a note to really give to really think about the first 30 seconds of a video, because I don't know if it was this hundreds heads video or there's another one, but the video itself was really good, but the video almost started, or the quality, the crux of the video, the with the fun angles and your quirky, you know, fun personality and everything else, all of that started maybe like 3 minutes into the video. So if I wasn't invested and I was looking for something that was specifically about the 100 heads, I don't know if I would have hung out for that whole video, for that whole 3 minutes. But then once it started, I really enjoyed it. So just really think about the first 30 seconds and whether when you watch it back, these 30 seconds are something that your audience need to watch. And this is the difficulty with trying to do channel reviews and getting ads all the time. But I think this one was, just a bit of repetition, so just be mindful of it. I think that sometimes focus on adding the most interesting bit in the 30 seconds, and then if you want to give a little bit more context, you can do it after once people are already invested in the channel or in the video. You're premium, so you don't see ads. But yeah, ultimately, I really enjoyed this. I've just said some of the titles could be more SEO friendly. And the other thing was consistency. I feel like that's the one thing that's really holding this channel back because you'd made 14 videos at the time in 1 year. And I feel like if you had done more of them in a shorter period of time, then the channel would have continued to grow. And since then, the channel has really grown. And I think it's in part because of this really nice sketchbook tour that you did. So basically, keep doing what you're doing, try to be more consistent if possible, and really think about the first 30 seconds of the video and how you can captivate people. And also keep going with your shorts because your shorts have really great reach. Uh, which we can see here. Where is it? Sorry, I've got a new mouse and it's like I'm struck like it scrolls in an opposite way to the way I think it should scroll. So I keep struggling with it. So yeah, if you look at your channel has 800 subscribers, 600 when you first submitted your channel, and yet your reels, not reels, your shorts have like 18,000 views, 17,000 views, 10,000 views. So just pay attention to what your most popular reels and videos are, and then keep doing that because that will give you more reach, which will expose you to newer people. So that is my feedback for Amanda Ray. Great channel. Keep doing what you're doing. And let me stop sharing that for a second. Do I even know how to stop sharing? Oh, yes. Just about figured it out. So that's Amanda Ray. Then who should we do next? We can do Jen next. Let me get a drink. And if you have any feedback as well, obviously like kind feedback, feel free to put it in the chat. I do feel like it's helpful for people to get an idea about what their channel looks like from your eyes. So let's do Jen's channel. And this is Jen Fetzer, Weekly Art Motivation. So starting off, like thinking about channel optimization, I like how Jen clearly has her name there. Like even straight away, I could remember like, oh, Jen's channel, Jen's channel. Why? Because she has it on the banner there. And also there's a clear intention behind the channel, like weekly art motivation. The motivation could be a little bit more clear, but at least I'm thinking like, okay, it's art videos. I tend to like when there's like a picture of a face. I know mine isn't technically a picture of my face, but I feel like you can see that it's me, a person, and I'm smiling. I think that it just makes it more approachable and it helps people remember you a little bit clearer. Because people like seeing faces, especially if you already have your face on your channel, then there's no need to hide it further. The feedback that I have in terms of like optimizing the channel is to have an about section. The about section is not only helpful for people getting to know you and your channel, but also for YouTube to understand what your channel is about. So just take a couple of minutes to write like two-liners about the kind of videos that you're going to make or what people can expect from there. And then also add links to your other socials if you have it, whether it be a website or Instagram or something. Just make use of this retail space that you have here essentially. And then again, I tend to like, okay, so this is good. So you do have the sections where you've divided it into like popular video, most recent video, and shorts. But I would move popular videos to the top because you want people to watch your popular videos. You don't want people to um unless your most recent videos tend to be like really popular as well. I would first push people to like, hey, look, this is what I make that everybody really likes. And then underneath that, I would have the more recent videos so that they can see more stuff. And then following that, you can have anything else like your short shelf at the bottom of that. Because more times than not, people are not watching shorts from your homepage, they're watching shorts from the, the feed. um so I would just change that up a little bit. Then when I looked at and then also if you want, you can have a video to start, but I don't think that's necessary. Like, I think that might be personal preference. Then when we look at the videos themselves, oh, this is what, just double checking my notes to make sure I don't forget anything. But essentially my feedback for this is I can tell that you like purple. I love purple as well. But I think that you have really great video ideas. Like, you're making, oops, what did I do? Oh no, sorry, that's me trying to use my mouse. So you have really great video ideas, such as how to make trinket trays, and you're playing with the iridori. And this video, especially, I watched and I really enjoyed it because you painted some really, was it this one? You painted some really cool Pokemon. So that in itself is great. But I think that the potential of your videos is being um, dampened by the thumbnails because I don't think that the thumbnails are clear. Um, I think, like, say, for example, with this one, I can't see on my computer, I can barely see that this says clay trinket trays, like this one here. On my phone, I could not see it because you have purple on purple with green. It's hard to read. And then if you don't know that it says trinket trays, you don't know if it's stickers, you don't know. uh, So I basically feel like the videos themselves are good and the video ideas are good, but because of the thumbnails, people are probably not clicking on them because they don't understand what's going on in the video. Same with this one, like the trying the Holbein Iridori set and painting Pokemon. Um, I feel like the title is fine, or you don't even need to say the trying, you could just say swatching or painting with the Holbein Iridori spring set. But I feel like you created such beautiful art of Pokemon, which everyone loves. But then in the picture itself, you can't really see that there's Pokemon, and you can kind of see the Holbein set. And if you know the Holbein Iridori set, you will know that that's what you're holding. But if you don't know it, or if you haven't got it at the forefront of your mind, you're not going to know that that's what's going on in this thumbnail, and thus you won't click on it. So I think if you took a picture where you are closer to your artwork so that your artwork is a lot closer, and even the Iridori gouache, which comes in like a beautiful, almost like rainbow order. If you took like a really close picture of that, even with no words, people would be intrigued because they would see your beautiful art with the paints, or they would just see your beautiful art, or they would just see the paints with your art in the background. But with this, it's too far. So I feel like that I would change. Same with this, like with the is the best beginners gouache set unboxing the Himimiya gouache twin cup. I think again it would be more helpful to have the complete painting or part of the painting with a close-up of the actual Himimiya gouache so that people can see it and be drawn into it. Because initially I see the jelly gouache, but I don't really see anything else. Um, I'm just double checking, sorry, the comments because I can't see it at the moment. Oh, Amanda Ray, you're here. Oh, good. I'm glad that I hope that you enjoyed the review. Um, oh, you can't control ads because you're not monetized yet. See, YouTube's really wilding out. Someone's channel isn't monetized and they're putting two adverts. They're putting two adverts in 10 seconds. Like, how wild is that? Um, but I am glad. And let me just catch up with the chat, make sure that I'm not missing anything. But no, so I think even so moving on to like another video just to kind of hone it in, like this one, the 10-hour painting challenge using gouache. Again, I have done that challenge. I loved that challenge, but I tell you now, I can see 10 and nothing else. So I can see 10 and I can see you holding a painting, but I don't know if you're going to paint 10 of them. And I can't clearly see what the painting is because I don't think that you have completed it. So I feel like, and this is the advice that I was given by my sister very lovingly, that sometimes it is helpful to just have normal text as opposed to your writing because it can be harder for people to see. If you're going to do a purple if you're going to do purple, you need more contrast. Basically, you can't have purple on purple. You can't have light purple on light gray on the background because the text doesn't stand out as much. And your art is beautiful. It should take, I feel like, more stage and center. And I think what I then did when looking at these is I looked at your most popular videos to see. And for example, these, like, this is what I mean. This here is exactly what I mean, where you have your art front and center, and then you have a rainbow of the supplies. Beautiful. I don't even need to know what the video is about. I'm at least intrigued because I see colors and I see art. Or with this one, you have the paints and then you have your art, and it looks like Studio Gilby. Yeah, Studio Gilby. And I got all that without even reading what the title was, and I am intrigued. This one, I think the saturation could be higher, but still, I can clearly see the art supplies. This one, you look quite similar to the painting that you have done, so people are intrigued. So it's worth sometimes looking at your most popular ones and seeing if there's a recurring theme. And I would say that these top two have really bright, beautiful colors. So up the saturation, focus on the art. Be mindful of the text. If people can't read it, then there's no point it being here. I really struggle to read spring cleaning on that one, so just be mindful of that. But I really liked your videos. Like I liked the actual videos, I liked the content of them, and I liked your video ideas. I just think that the thumbnails could change and really make a big difference. And I feel like, what else did I write? Oh, your shorts as well. Your shorts were really nice and aesthetic. If I remember correctly, you had like you had gradients. Yeah. There's these ones. Where are they? Oh my gosh, my laptop is killing me. Hold on. Okay. See, you had some like really nice gradients. So basically continue doing shorts as well because it's really working for you. And I'm guessing this is the one that was from the 10-hour video, but it wasn't finished in the thing. So these videos where you're doing like nice gradients are really satisfying to look at. And as you can see, you have a channel with 1,000 subscribers, but these are getting like up to 14,000 views. So worth investing in so that you get reach, and then you just want to complement that with really nice thumbnails so that people then start going onto your long form content as well. Avenue Tour, ladies and gents. Powder spray, so fun. I haven't tried that. That does sound fun though. I do have brusho. Is that what you mean? I am well, Jennifer. Thank you so much for for asking. I'm tired, but I am well. Everyone stretch and like take a break. Oh, Derwent, thank you. Are you this nice with medical residents? I do like to. I hope that I am a nice to my juniors. I hope that they would agree. I try to be nice. um, wonder why she's tired because I haven't slept yet. Let's do some more. I want to try and do as many as possible, although I am getting tired. Um, oh, this mess. So, and just to say, just to double check, I said for Jen, I loved that you had playlists. I love your shorts because they're lovely and aesthetic. I really like how clear your banner is, and your videos are really nice. They have great audio, great lighting, and really nice angles. And you have interesting video ideas. Just work on the thumbnails. Hey everyone. How are you, Lara? And how are you, Jennifer? And as you answer, we will go to, oh, let me show you. Let me show you Katie Oars. Now, I think it's slowly loading. Okay. I've thoroughly enjoyed this channel. And in fact, I think was I subscribed? I think I was subscribed, but I didn't realize that she'd asked for a review at the time. So I was subscribed beforehand, as in a channel, her video got recommended to me. I subscribed after watching it, and then later on I realized, oh, hold on, this is the same person who's asked for a review. So I love the banner because I feel like it's quite clever because it's conveying that, oh, I'm recording, and you can kind of see a color swatch and some art supplies in the background. I really like it. I almost want to do it. Don't judge me. But I would almost want to do it, and as in like for my own channel, and just have the picture zoomed out a little bit more so that you can see very clearly that it's art supplies and my artwork or something being recorded. I just love the idea and the vision behind it. So I think it's clear. Then it says, I'm documenting my art journey to see where I can get if I don't stop and I keep moving forward. And I think that that's quite nice and cute. I am not a fan of all the different fonts, but again, I'll leave that down to personal preference. Then there's a way to get in touch, which again, I think is clever. And then a link tree, Instagram, TikTok. So essentially the about me part has been optimized, so that people can get in touch with you, especially if you like your channel. Then you've done what I tend to like doing, which is having a video that starts straight away. And I liked that this video, I don't know if it's your most popular one or if you've picked it randomly, but I like the fact that it's like you've sketched for 30 days. I tend to be interested in videos where it's like, oh, I'm doing this for 10 days or a week in my life, or like, creating art for a set period of time. And I admire it even more so because like I have been wanting to do I create video for a week video. I create art for a week video for months now. But I never record it consistently enough to actually do it. So I'm impressed that you have some video that's only, 9 minutes and you manage to share a 30-day challenge. So I think that's very intriguing. Then, oh, I'm glad you're enjoying my live stream, Jennifer. And oh, you're making handmade decorations, Lara. Wow. I just can't. I can't. I may try to make cards for my family, but I think it will stop there. But let me scroll down. This was when I'm like, I think this is what I then loved. So there is videos and popular videos, and normally I say put popular videos on top. However, if your latest videos are doing as well as your popular videos, which you can kind of see they are, then it's fine what order you put them in. But and then later on is like the shorts shelf at the bottom, which is fine, and then more playlists right at the bottom, and then another channel. Wonderful. Now, the reason that I thoroughly enjoyed this and I subscribed is that I just love the video ideas. So this video, for example, which at the time when I put it to my watch later had like 800 views and now it's 26,000 views. But I just loved the idea of 14 days of learning gouache. I was like, huh, could I learn gouache in 14 days? Like I was very intrigued by the idea. Following idea, how to start a new sketchbook. Like, something that we all struggle with. Following idea, making a DIY mixed media sketchbook. Like each video that I was looking at, I was more intrigued than the next. And to me, if I add one video to watch later and then another video to watch later, then it doesn't make sense. I might as well just subscribe so that I can go and binge their channel. And this is essentially what it was. And then it was like, oh, a little art supply haul. And essentially I really like the style of the thumbnails. It might be a bit of personal opinion, but ultimately it's clear white text, is white text on a somewhat clear picture. This picture isn't necessarily the clearest. However, the concept piques enough of an intrigue, as in like the words are clear and I'm intrigued enough by the title of the words in the thumbnail that I want to click on the video. This one, I think white on white is a little bit tricky with the start a new sketchbook. However, it worked. This one, mixed media sketchbook, again, like you can see that, there's the thread, there's a book that's being made, there's a pencil. I didn't even read the title. I just assumed that it's making a mixed media sketchbook. And if I want to do that, then I would click on it. 30-day challenge benefits. Again, I'm intrigued by the 30-day challenge. So basically, I really enjoyed the channel because I enjoyed the thumbnails and I enjoyed the video ideas. So what did I write in terms of feedback on this channel? I feel like the main glaring thing, like even this, like when I'm looking at it, favorite art supplies, I'm like, oh, I want to click. So I think definitely very, very skilled when it comes to thumbnails and to conceptualizing video ideas and grabbing attention. Like it's clean, it's straight to the point. Maybe this one is a bit confusing. Yeah, this one's a bit confusing, but fair enough. But the rest, I feel like they are very nice. So then why has this channel only got 1.6 thousand? And I think at the time when she actually submitted it, it was less. It was like 700. So it's doubled in size. And the only thing I can put to it is consistency, because all these videos that we're looking at were 1 year ago, 1 year ago, 1 year ago. And then as of 10 months ago, there has been in 10 months, there's been 9 videos. And I think that is ultimately what the issue has been and why the channel isn't growing as quickly. Because there is a gap of at least 1 month between each video. And sometimes you can't predict it. And I think that sometimes, for example, if someone comes and watches a video and they really like it, and then they want to go and see more, and they see that you last posted like 6 months ago, 1 month ago, 2 months ago, then they may be less likely to subscribe because they don't know if you're actually ever coming back. But ultimately, I think that if you were to keep doing what you are doing, but more consistently. Or if you do want to only create videos once a month, if you added that to your description, then at least people would know, like, okay, the video is going to drop once a month. So when they come and they see that your last video was created a month ago, they know that doesn't mean that you're not coming back. It means that you're on schedule as you should be, and they can expect, and that's what they can expect, and they will come and they will stay. But if they come and, some people say I make videos every week, and then the last video was 3 months ago, then people won't subscribe because they think you'll have abandoned it. So if you are going to make videos once a month, then I would just add the caveat where perhaps when you're doing when you do your intro, you just say that you make it once a month, and then that will help. And just try to be as consistent as possible. But I really enjoy your channel, and I think you've done a few shorts as well. I feel like shorts are really good for just broadening reach and getting different kinds of subscribers on the channel. So they are always worth exploring. I love the fact that I love playlists. So again, I think that's very helpful and useful. And then let me see here. Are you interacting with your community? Yes, you're interacting with your community, which is good. 2 weeks ago. Are you also an artist? Oh, reaching 1,000. So yeah, this is lovely. Like, it's good to engage with your community. As you may know, I love being part of the art community, and thus I always talk in my community tab. So I think it's a somewhat underutilized thing that people can use more of. So that could be something that you use to also update people and just keep them in the know as to when the next video is coming. Hi, Anna. Let me see. Oh, I'm catching up on your ideas for Christmas decorations. Oh, that's homemade. Oh, thank you. Flowers. I love painting flowers. Um, I have done a few more Christmassy card designs in the past, and they're actually like YouTube videos. They just don't tend to do as much. I don't know why I'm getting ads as well on my phone. Let me see. So that's that was Katie Oars, and I've done the questions as well. And I feel like that is probably it. So there were more channels, but I almost feel, yeah, there were more channels, but unfortunately I can't review them all. One of the channels was Miranda Watson Alkali Creek, and I love her channel. She's just hit 5K and she's doing an advent calendar. So I feel like she's quite well known in the art space. So I won't have time to review her channel, but I thought it would just be worth giving her a shout out, because if you enjoy watercolors, you'll probably enjoy her channel as well. And I thought what may be helpful to do is to give you a bit of an overview on the considerations that I have when reviewing a channel and also reviewing my own. Some of the things I do, some of the things is almost like do as I say and not as I do, because it's ultimately impossible to do everything in one go. But what you can do is try and improve a little bit at a time until your channel grows in the way that you want it to. So let me show you. I tried to put it into an Excel document basically, and I feel like by showing this it might be a bit more helpful for you, hopefully. Let me see if I can find it. Is it this one? Look at me squinting on my computer. I don't know. Or is it this one? This is incredibly unhelpful. Hold on. Let me close one of them and then I will know that I'm not accidentally sharing all my private information across the internet. So this will be an overview, and if you have a YouTube channel, then perhaps you can use this. You can almost like go through this yourself to see what you have and what you don't have, and it's quite extensive. Like I said, you don't have to do all of it in one go or at any point. You can just do like little bits by bits and just use it to kind of review your channel and see if there's any area where you could improve. So this is essentially what I have been doing and trying to share, and it's almost like the format that I would have for a YouTube. So starting at the top, essentially, I think it's important to consider these things when starting a YouTube channel, and that is, what is your YouTube channel going to be about, which a lot of people will talk about as being your niche. And the more specific you can be about it, the better, because then you'll have a bit of a clearer idea as to whether the videos or the video ideas or the collaborations or anything that you're thinking about taking on your with your channel actually makes sense for your channel and what it's about. The next thing is like, who is your channel for? And I think that that is ultimately very, very important, because I feel like for channels that tend to do very well are channels that are focused, that are a bit more selfless, like channels that are focused on the person who's watching rather than what you are creating. Now, if what you want to do and what your channel is about is purely about sharing your journey, then fair enough, your channel will grow. It may just take a little bit more time. But if it's in sharing your journey because you want others to enjoy theirs, then when you're making videos, you're thinking about who you're making the video for. And that will be helpful in making sure that the videos you're making actually align and actually make sense for the people who are watching it. And then another question is, what will your target audience, which is essentially who your channel is for, what will they get from watching your channel? What will they get from watching this video? And again, this is about making your channel and your video focused on the person who's watching, making it selfless and thinking about the value that you're providing over what you want to get from it. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to create completely different content. It just means that when you are making it and when you're thinking about it, you're positioning it from the point of, how is this going to be beneficial for somebody else? So then you may add a little bit more, or you may detract a little bit more from what you were going to do in your video, just because you know that actually this is or is not going to be helpful for who's watching. Oh, hey Miranda, I literally just mentioned you. You'll live long. I was literally just talking about you. I said I won't be able to review your channel. However, I do love it, and congratulations on hitting 5K. And now what I'm doing is just quickly going over this like little template that I have got, basically going through the different things that I consider when auditing a channel or trying to audit my own. And I'm by no means like 100% on this, but it just pauses for thought, and it shouldn't be overwhelming. You should just pick a couple of things to work on and then build upon that. So the next thing is channel optimization, which we have kind of talked about already. So having a channel banner, does it communicate what your niche is and what your personality is? Like, I really like Jen's one. I really like Katie Orr's one as well. I think Amanda Ray's one. I think all the ones that we looked at were actually quite good. Then next is, does your YouTube channel communicate a clear value offering? And again, I feel like Katie Orr's did that quite well by highlighting, like, that she's sharing her journey and what you can get out of it. Does your channel include relevant links and contact details? This is important, I think, even more so if you plan on working with brands. I don't think that you need to have absolutely everything out there, like, for the sake of safety and whatnot. But I do think if you have perhaps social media or a way of people to get in touch with you, that can also be helpful. Does your homepage have sections? That just makes it easier for people to look at and for people to potentially binge your content, which is what you want to do. Same with playlists, again, binge worthy content. And does your channel have a description that clearly summarizes your channel? So again, have the description, but also have the description like think about that one line that you're doing. Don't write hi everyone and then leave lots of space and then start writing more, because that means that on your homepage all everyone will see is hi everyone, instead of that one sentence that could really be used to kind of convey what your channel is about. Then next thing is replying to comments. So I didn't check this, to be fair, but it's just important, I feel, to reply to as many comments as you can. Obviously not at the expense of your mental health. And by that I mean, like, sometimes there can be a lot of comments, or if you're if even if you don't even if you're not like inundated with comments, because you are already, you're videoing, you're planning the videos, you're scripting sometimes, or you're doing the editing, you're already doing so much that sometimes replying to every single comment can also feel like a lot on top of that. But I do feel like you should try to reply to as many comments as you can. Or sometimes what people will set is almost like a rule where they'll reply to the comments that are left in the first 24 hours. And that just builds like community, and it lets people know that you appreciate them and that you appreciate their time and that you appreciate the fact that they've taken time out of their day to talk to you, because they didn't have to do that. um then let me see. Mm, then I'm checking the comments. So Lara is starting a mailing list. Um, does anyone find that mailing lists are good for their channel? So I have a mailing list as well. Feel free to join it down below. Actually, have I linked it down below? I will link it down below. Thank you so much for the reminder, Lara. So I have started a mailing list. I don't feel like it's been like good for my channel per se, but I do feel like ultimately we don't have that much control over our channels, over our social media, over anything. And like, for example, I've already shared this, but a few months ago, YouTube deleted every comment that I had left, every reply to a comment that I had left on YouTube on my channel. And that was like over 1,000 comments that I had spent hours replying, or like looking for links or looking for answers to people's questions and doing all of that, and then all of them gone within a blink of an eye. And that just kind of hit home for me in terms of the fact that we don't actually control YouTube as much as we think that we do. And it's good and it's helpful to have something that you, I guess, kind of own, in terms of the fact that if someone gives you their email address, you then have a way of getting in touch with them directly that isn't relying on an algorithm or a platform or anything else. It's just relying on them opening their emails. So I do think that it's a good practice to have and a good thing to build. It may not help your channel grow per se, but it does build that community that you're trying to grow. I think it's good because it's bigger than YouTube. Mm. I'm just checking. Yeah, so it deleted every comment from the inception of my channel till last August. Every comment was gone. And if you look back now, every comment is gone. And what hurts even more is that every comment is hearted. So it almost looks like I couldn't be bothered to reply. I just hearted them. My my only consolation is that obviously I would have replied to people at that time, and then sometimes people replied. So I assume that people saw the comments then and there, and they know that they got a reply, and that's what counts. And then obviously now I still do reply to all my comments. And also, if people get emails, then they'll get an email of my reply, and that YouTube can't take away. um, does your video have? Oh yeah. So do your videos have a good engagement rate? So views to likes and views to comments. And I don't think that there's actually like a proper number to this. Um, I like to think between 5 to 10%, but this is a number I've picked out of thin air. And basically what that means is if if a video of mine, and this is like what tends to be the case for my channel. So it may be different for you, but then you'll analyze what's normal for you. So if, for example, a video of mine has 1,000 views, usually my engagement rate is something like 10%, in that it will have 1,000 views, it will have 100 likes, thereabouts. And then maybe comments wise might be like 30 likes. So likes to comments is like a third. And the reason that I kind of have that rough ratio in mind is that if I have a video that gets 1,000 views but has 10 likes, I know that there's something very wrong with that video. Because it means that a disproportionate amount of people who have watched it have not liked that video. So it means that it's either clickbait. I haven't had this, but just to give you an example, it's either clickbaity, or I'm not delivering on a promise, or there's something in the video that people are not enjoying. More times than not, what also tends to happen is, for example, if I get a video that has 1,000 views but then has like 300 likes, right? Okay, it doesn't happen more often than not, but as in, like, if I get that kind of ratio, then what that tells me is that it's a video that people are really enjoying, like my ride or die MVPs are really enjoying, but there's something about either the title or the thumbnail, which means that YouTube isn't pushing it enough, because it's only pushed it to people that really like my content. And that's why a higher proportion than normal have liked it. Does that make sense? So this isn't something that you have to like commit to memory. But it's helpful to just have a bit of an idea over, or have a rough idea about. And likewise, if I have a video that has no comments, then um then usually that, I mean, that tends to happen with live streams, and that usually means that I'm forgetting to engage with you, the person watching on the replay. Feel free to like put a heart down below, something like that. Um just be, if you're aware of things like that, then you can kind of make changes accordingly. So just take a quick look. What are your views to likes and views to comments like? Let me catch up on the comments. Not sure if you have enough to do a mailing list. Well, the thing with the mailing list is that you just collect emails. You don't have to send anything out until you're ready. So it's still a list if it's more than one. Even if it's one, to be honest, if it's one email, it's still a list. But if you do want to build your mailing list, I know this is unrelated, you can create something like a lead magnet. So for example, a lead magnet could be this audit. So if you wanted to do, if you wanted a copy of this, I could have actually made it, actually finished it, and then offered it as a lead magnet and kind of said, if you want this, I will link it down below in the description. And if you give your email address, then you'll get it sent. Or if I did like a peony guide that I was giving out for free, and then in exchange for that, I would also get, someone would give me their email address, and then when I have similar resources, I would send it to them. The key thing with the lead magnet is that you have to make it relevant for the people that you want to actually join that mailing list, or you want to join your YouTube. There is no point me making a lead magnet that's about 10 ways to 10 ways to save, like general, very generic, right? It applies to absolutely everyone. I get all these emails and none of them are actually interested in art. So you just have to give a bit of thought as to what do your audience want from you, and what can you give for free, and then that will build your mailing list. And you can use something like ConvertKit. I'll leave a link down below because I use them and I think you can get a discount. But you can use ConvertKit. That's what I use. And then you'll be able to create a simple page, link the PDF, they give you the email, you send them the PDF. What am I missing? Mm, 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 Oh, good, good, Jennifer. I'm glad that you know that I replied. Yeah, that's the thing that I had to use to comfort myself. Like, ultimately, people will know that I replied, and I just hope that nobody goes back and realizes that. Well, I guess I've told everyone now, but that over 200 of my videos have no comments, no replies from me. Oh, I just feel like I look like an absolute cow, basically, and that is not my intention. Um, you're having trouble getting people to interact. Not sure what you're doing wrong. So I think it depends. Um, I think what has helped me with the interactions the most is asking questions. Like, I'm naturally very curious, and I don't know if you can probably tell, but I really, really, really wanted to know you. Like, I wanted to know the people who were watching. I wanted to feel like part of a community, and I wanted to build that community. So I asked genuine, authentic questions about things that I was interested in. So I feel like that helped. I also, because I wanted to know people, would really chat with people in the comments. So if if I were to go back to how I started, because I feel like now you know me a little bit more, so it's easier for you to chat with me. But when I first started, because people can be shy naturally, and also people don't know that you want to talk to them. They just think like, I watched a video, that's fine, like you're not that interested. They don't know how much it means to you. So you can tell them that it means something to you, or you can also do something like at the end, in at the like in your comments, you can pin a comment with something very simple that's related to your video, whether it be a question or a point that you're interested in or a link or something. But the point is that pin it you pin it so that it stays at the top of your comment section, and then people have a place to reply, because ultimately it's hard for people to just make a random comment other than like, I like your video or whatever. So you just have to think about making it easier for them to actually engage with you, and that is by opening the conversation up. So obviously I like asking questions to my MVPs, but you can also leave a message pinned in the comment, or you can play a game that's in the video. You just have to open the path of conversation. My views are always under 100, and the experts say I'm not using my meta tags. I am not gonna lie, I have no idea about meta tags. Don't know what they are. But I think that I don't know if this is what they mean, but I feel like at the beginning, when you're starting with YouTube, it's helpful to have videos that can rank for search. And these are videos where the titles are things that humans would search for. So even if you are, so I know that sometimes art vlog channels, for example, struggle because they'll call it art vlog 001, and nobody is searching for that. They may search for art vlogs, but there are millions of art vlogs out there because everyone's calling it art vlog 00 whatever. So you have to make it a little bit more search friendly. So for example, if in that video um you are doing a sketchbook session, you might call it art vlog at the end of that, but you might also say like, how to spend a day in my sketchbook, or how to start a sketchbook, something that someone would actually search, how to start a sketchbook. But it happens to be that you're presenting that information in an art vlog style. So I'm not the greatest when it comes to like SEO, so search engine optimization, but I feel like that is what perhaps they're talking about. Tags on YouTube themselves are not that helpful. It's just more so helpful um, for if, for example, it's more helpful for things like watercolor, as an example. In the UK, we spell it with a U. In the US, we spell it without a U. Most of my audience is in the US, but I spell as if I'm in the UK. So having tags will help, because I'll basically say, if someone says watercolor with an O or watercolor with a U, then both mean the same thing, still direct them to my channel. Mm, Yeah, Melanie, there was a time that YouTube was glitching. It wasn't that they had all the same. That was happening to me too. So I looked at a video and it had 54 likes, the next one 54 likes, the next one 54 likes. It's just YouTube was glitching. When I closed it down and restarted, I could actually see the proper likes again. Bye, Miranda. I hope that editing goes well. Um, oh, that's so cute. I love that. I love that you and that Laura and Jennifer, that you guys like know each other and like part of your mailing list. Mm, yeah, it's really helpful to do the pinned comment because then it's prime real estate, something that I think Sean from Think Media had mentioned that if you don't put anything on there, then you're just letting any random person take like that one spot. And if you're watching YouTube on your phone, you can see the top pinned comment with either the pinned comment or the top comment. Um, and obviously, if you're not the one who has pinned it, then it can just be an absolute random thing. Yeah, so I don't know. Uh, I'm not too sure about meta tag to be honest, but other things that you can use with the search engine optimization is your titles, but also your descriptions. So having something in the title that's like, for example, how to start a sketchbook, then in your description, you write it in a way a human would write. So, in this video, I'm going to talk to you about how to start a sketchbook and starting a sketchbook in this way and yada, yada, yada. And then in the tags, you write like how to start a sketchbook, starting my sketchbook, my new sketchbook. Like, do you see what I mean? So all these different ways actually lets YouTube understand and know what your channel is about. Let me quickly go through the rest of these just so that at least you're able to have a look at your channel as well. So the next bit is like content optimization. So does each video slash post actually provide value? So thinking about it from the perspective of the person who's watching, is the lighting, the sound, and the view, so the actual angle of your camera, of a good quality? And I've just put it as like one line, but in theory, each one should be its own individual thing. Like, is your lighting good? Is your sound good? And is the view, like the actual angle, good? Is there a good mix of trending, community building, and teaching slash entertainment content? And I think the ratio of this will depend on the kind of channel that you have, but ultimately, trending videos may fall under the topic of like swatching videos or art haul videos. They're the videos that will get pushed to a wider audience who may not who to get discovered. Essentially, you're kind of going with the trends. Like at the moment we were talking about mixed media art being quite popular, and you do that so that more people get to follow you or get to see your video and then kind of get intrigued and come back. Community building content, I think, is more so like this live stream, for example, or the live streams that I do in general. They're about nurturing the community that you have already, listening to their video suggestions, making the videos that they enjoy, and just fostering that sense of community. But they are not going to get you new people, usually, really. And but they're going to keep the ones who are here and also build that sense of community. And then teaching slash entertainment content, and this is essentially a lot of the time with like search based content, and that's videos, for example, that are like tutorial based and things. They are good because they are easy to find because people are searching for them, but they don't but there's only usually only so many times that people want to paint a rose, or that people look for that same kind of tutorial, which is why it's helpful to have a range of different kinds of videos so that you are growing your community with the trending content, keeping your community with the community building content, but also teaching them, but also giving them other things to kind of stay on. So it's all a question of balance. um and then what do we have next? Oh, okay. So have you included cards? This is something that was a little bit controversial. Um, And essentially, cards are, you know, when people are like, oh, I, let me give you an example. I made a video where I talk about how much money I made on YouTube in my first year, and I will link that video up above for you. So you'll note I said up above, not down below. And then usually what will happen is there will be a little bar that will come up at the top. And if you click on that bar, it will take you to my other video. That is a card. And cards are very helpful because ultimately what you want is you want to kind of build like a cycle of binging where you now know your audience so much and they've watched this video, they've enjoyed this video, they've found it helpful, so they want to know what to watch next. So for example, given the context of this video, it may be that you want to watch the one where I talk about how much money I've made on YouTube, or it may be that you want to watch the other live stream that I made where I go into more detail about growing on YouTube and the experiences I'd had, or you may want to watch my first year on YouTube because it's currently your first year, or my journey to 1,000 subscribers because that's the journey that intrigues you most. And all these things you can link through a card at the top of the video that people will click on and then continue watching. The reason that it's controversial is that people were saying that it would then cut your retention because it means that you've made a 20-minute video, you've put a card at 5 minutes, and instead of people watching for 20 minutes, they're now so interested by this video that you have mentioned that they click on it and they leave this current video, giving YouTube the impression that only 25% of your video is worth watching. And the way that people have kind of got around that is use cards because they're helpful and they let people know what to go to next, but use them towards the end of your video where people start to lose attention anyway. So instead of leaving it at the beginning, you just do it towards the end. And someone said like more than 80% towards the end of the video. Yeah, vidIQ is quite good. I'm so glad that you're finding them helpful, Colleen. But yeah, vidIQ and TubeBuddy are also good. Not necessarily with content. Well, then again, it is also content optimization, and they also have their channel. So vidIQ has quite a good YouTube channel where they do channel reviews and give more information on YouTube updates and how to grow on YouTube and things. Think Media is another one, another really good YouTube channel, although they don't have the Chrome add-on, vidIQ does. Okay, the next thing that I mentioned is, have you included end screens directing viewers to the next video? So kind of tying into what I've just said, but instead of it being like a bar that comes up at the top of the video, you now have like boxes that come to the side. And the point of this, or the key thing of this, is that you don't just end the video and have the boxes there. You think about, this person has watched this video, which means that it makes sense for them to watch this video next. And thus you introduce that in the video, and then you have the end screen. So I would say something like, if you've loved this video, or if you found this video helpful and you are trying to monetize your channel, then you're definitely going to enjoy this next video where I highlight my journey to 1,000 subscribers and how I got monetized. And then that video would come up, right? And I'm just making it easier for people to know where they're going to get the most value. Does your video have descriptions? Bonus if they are SEO optimized. So that's kind of the thing that we're talking about, where we are mentioning kind of like keywords that are search engine friendly in the description, and it's also in the title. Are there relevant and helpful links in your description? Like, I feel like this is a must. I love doing links just because it makes life easier. There's nothing, although I'm obviously not perfect, I do tend to sometimes forget to add things, but it can be quite what's the word? Annoying. Maybe for people, like if you want to know something and then you go to the description and there's no links and you're like, ugh, how am I going to know what sketchbook they're using, or how am I going to know like what blah 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 they're using, and they said that they would link it and it's not linked. So just have helpful links that you think people will want or benefit from having watched the video. And have it organized. So I like having emojis, but you can have lines or you can space it out. Just especially with people like nowadays, everyone's kind of struggling with their attention spans and just like blocks of text. Like, I mean, I went to med school and I'm still not a fan of blocks of text. So, just try to like space it out, have it nice to look at, clear and to the point, so that people can quickly be like, okay, I'm looking for a link of art supplies. This is what I'm going to, or I'm looking for a discount that she's mentioned. And I can see it here. It's all nice and clear. Um, oh, thank you. I'm so glad that you guys are finding this beneficial. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Jennifer. I really appreciate it. Mm, let me continue. Oh, this is a good one as well. Chapter markers. So chapter markers are essentially, when you're watching a video and then you can see that there's like in the there's a red bar, the red bar that plays as you're watching the video, but instead like it's divided into sections. When that happens, so when the actual play bar is divided into sections, it's because they have created chapters. And essentially this is the more times than not, the creator has gone in and kind of said this section is this section is that, this section is this. And it's helpful. Back in the day, we just used to have to put a screen, like a screenshot of the times and then tell people to jump to those times. But now you can do it so that they can automatically jump to those times. And if they hover over that like rectangle at the bottom, they can see the title and know exactly where they want to go. Again, this was something that at some point was somewhat controversial, and people were like, oh no, I want them to watch the whole video. I don't want to tell them where the best bits are. But more times than not, what that leads to is people being frustrated and just leaving rather than watching the whole video. And I think it was like Mr. Beast who was basically saying that the more you focus on benefiting the person who's watching, the better it will be for you and your channel and the person who's watching. So there's no need for someone to stay there and be watching for like 10 minutes when you know that they only want to watch a 2-minute bit. This is not to say that you've stretched out a 2-minute video into a 10-minute video because you're trying to make the video monetized or anything like that. What it means is that there are certain parts, and for some people the whole video will be beneficial, but for others they'll want to go to certain parts, and you're making it easier for them to find it. The way that you do this is you do it in the description by writing 00, then the 2 dots, the colons. So 00 colons 00, and then you write something, and that's like the start of your chapter. And then the next line, for example, if I was doing a 5-minute, that's a 5-minute section, and then the next section starts, I would write 05, 2 dots, so semicolon or colon, I can't think of the word right now, 00, next section 2 or whatever, and then 10 minutes, 10, 2 dots, 00, section 3. That's how you would do the chapters. However, I'll take things a step further and say, do not call it what I have just given an example of. So do not call it section 1, section 2, section 3. Why? Because chapters are also search engine friendly, right? So sometimes you'll see that if you were to Google how to use a USB on Google, a video might come up and it might show you a chapter that is called on a specific video how to use a USB, and then play that. So basically YouTube and Google are linked together. They will search your chapters, and that means that if someone is searching for something, they will direct it to them if the chapter matches what they're searching for. So you're almost missing an opportunity if you call it chapter 1, 2, or 3 because nobody's searching for that. But if your videos is about, let me see an example. So if your video is, for example, about, okay, my one that I need to add chapters to, but I haven't done, is like the Romish watercolors, right? Instead of calling it introduction or intro or section 1 or something like that nobody is going to search for, I could call it like Romish swatching out Roman Schmall watercolors or Roman Schmall swatches, something that I think someone will actually go and search for. And then in section two, I'm not calling it section one or section two, I'm calling it like all of Roman Schmall's yellows. So it's almost like these little bits are you're thinking about them like as if they were titles for a video. This is like a 2 minute or a 3 minute video. What would the title be? And that is what I'm going to call it. And I'm going to make it make sense for who's watching and make sense for who is searching. Then let me see. So I hope that makes sense. Then, oh, this is another good one. And this is a new thing, which again, I haven't done, but do as I say, not as I do. And this is the new feature where you can link videos to your shorts. So YouTube has removed the ability for you to put links in your shorts. You know, like back in the day, you could say, oh, this is my link to get 10% off Jackson's, click on it. And people were able to click on it because the amount of spam that was going on, they have removed that feature altogether. And their way to kind of circumvent that and get around that is that now you, as the creator, can create the short and then you can link one video that if someone who that links to that short. So if someone is enjoying that short and perhaps they want to see a longer form video, or there's a video that you have created that is similar or linked to it or makes sense to watch after, they can click on it. And this is helpful because it's kind of trying to get the people who watch you for a few seconds to actually invest in getting to know you a bit better by watching your long form videos. And this is helpful if, for example, you're repurposing your videos. So if, for example, thinking about like the Roman Schmall videos, say for example, I made a video about a short about granulating watercolors and I'm showing all these beautiful granulating watercolors. I could link it to my main video where I talk about how to make your own granulating watercolors, because both videos apply to that one person who wants to watch it. They just don't have to scroll through everything that I have created in order to find it. Then we've spoken about pinned comments already. And then this is more so, especially if you're pivoting your channel, and this is, do your most popular and most watched videos align with your channel? And this is especially important if you have, essentially, if you have a video, for example, like if, for example, I had created a video called How to Take Notes in Medical School, and this video went viral, right? I would have to take that video down if I want if I want my channel to grow. Even though that video would be making income and getting lots of people, you don't want a video that is viral or a video that's getting the most views to be a video that is not aligned with your channel at all, because it will just end up getting people who will watch and then not watch again. And your subscribers will grow, maybe, but your views will not, and it will damage your channel, because ultimately YouTube will push out your new video. Like for example, in my example, they would push out my watercolor video to people who have joined because they want to know more about medical school and taking notes. These people will not click on that video because they have no interest in watercolor, and YouTube will be like, wow, the videos that she's making right now really ain't hitting it. We're not going to spread it to other people because even her own subscribers don't want to watch it, and it will ultimately damage the channel. So if you have a video that is trending, that is viral, or any video that isn't, because there's always the potential of it trending and going viral later. If there's a video that is not aligned with your channel, I think it's worth getting rid of it. And if it's not doing well, I think it's worth getting rid of it now before it goes viral, and then you end up bringing a whole bunch of people to your channel that you don't want to, and then you're stuck because you don't want to get rid of that channel because it's actually get rid of that video because it's actually doing quite well. Yeah, exactly, Colleen. So labeling the chapters is like making mini videos, and I find that to be very helpful. Then, so the next bit is analytics and trends. And to be honest, you could spend hours on analytics, but let me see what I wrote at the time. And at the time, what I wrote is, do you understand your click-through rate, your watch time slash retention, and what are they? And this is essentially your click-through rate and your retention are the things that YouTube shows you as the metrics that they use to then rank your video as from 1 to 10. So I take that as meaning that YouTube puts quite a lot of importance on them. And essentially, your click through rates means that it's the percentage that basically says if YouTube were to show your video to 100 people, how many of them are clicking on it? And the smaller your channel initially, the like ideally you would want your number to be somewhat higher. And by the time that you have hundreds of thousands, it may be that the click through rate isn't as high. But ultimately, initially, when the video goes out, the click through rate should be a bit on the higher side. So to give you an example, for me, I don't know if this is good or bad, but for me, normally my click-through rate when I release a video is anything between 6 and 10%. And then as time goes on, that will level off to around 4-ish percent. And that basically means that YouTube has pushed out my video to my subscribers and to people who have engaged with me. 10% of them click on it because they like it. And then because they have like if they like it, YouTube pushes it out to more and more people. And some of these people will know me, some of these people will not know me. And thus the click-through rate will keep steadily dropping until it kind of comes to a slightly, settled number. And then retention is how long are they watching for. So having an understanding of all these things will help you understand sometimes if a video isn't doing as well, why that is the case. Is it the thumbnail, which means that people aren't clicking on it? Is it the retention, which means that you're taking too long to get into the video, so they are not watching it? What exactly is going on? Oh, this is this is interesting. If you have the analytics and you have enough, you can see what kind of channels your audience are watching. And this is if you go in the analytics, the audience section, and you scroll down to the bottom. And if the recommendations there are channels that are like your channel, then that means that YouTube is showing your videos to the right type of people, to your right audience, and keep doing what you're doing. If when you look in that section, it is completely random channels, then YouTube does not know who to show your video to. And that's where things like search engine optimization and spending more time on the thumbnails and also spending more time on narrowing down who you're making this video for in your head makes more sense. So when I look at my section of that, for example, I see all other art channels, which makes sense because I am an art channel. If I were to look at it and just see like all fashion channels, it would be a bit confusing, and it would mean that there's something in my channel description or there's something about the way that I'm putting together my channel and my videos that is giving YouTube the impression that my channel is a fashion channel, and that is why that is what people are watching as well as mine. Am I missing stuff? Is the higher the better on that Sketches? What do you mean, the higher the better on what? Your click-through rate? You want your click-through rate to be as high as possible and your retention to be high as possible. So click-through rate would mean that, a click-through rate of 50%, which God knows I've never seen, would mean that YouTube is showing my videos to 50 to 100 people and 50 of them are saying, yes, this is the video I want, and they're clicking on it to watch it. But if that's not what you mean, then please let me know. And then sometimes it will, if a video starts to go viral, sometimes the click-through rate will drop because YouTube is pushing it out to people who, to new people. So it's a mixture of things when looking at the analytics. What do the videos that people watch most have in common? That is also helpful to see what your audience likes. And when you look at your top 5 most watched videos, as in your own, not in general for your audience, what do they have in common? What are the recurring themes? What are the things that you're doing? So for example, when we were looking at Jen's, we could see that her top videos were had really bright, beautiful, saturated colors and had her artwork close up, right? That tells you recreate that in your thumbnails. Um, if you're looking and there's like a certain topic that keeps coming up, could you do a part 2 to it? Or is it pulling your channel in a different direction? So these are the sometimes it is really helpful to just look at your most popular videos, and you can look at your least popular videos as well. But I feel like sometimes, at least for me, because I have so many videos that don't have that many views, I don't know how much information I can get from them. Like I've obviously made over 200 videos and there are some videos that have less than 100 views. Okay, fine, I get it. You don't want to see those kind of videos. But I do find it more helpful to look at the videos that are doing better and trying to um echo that and to replicate that, even if I'm not making the same kind of video of just trying to figure out, is it that the lighting was good? Is it that I was talking to the camera the whole time, like the majority of the time? Is it that I spent more time in editing? Is it that, you know, that I showed more of my artwork? Is it that I had art supplies? Is it that the thumbnail was really good? What is it about these 5 videos that is really drawing people in? Uh, yeah, click-through rate. So the higher the click-through rate, the better, Lara. Analytics not showing up anything. Okay, no, that's fair enough, Colleen. It will take time to show things up, and the bigger your channel gets, the more analytics it will show. So I think sometimes it won't like, sometimes it won't show anything for a while. So even if you've had your channel for a while, sometimes you have to hit a certain threshold before it will consider itself to have had enough data in order to kind of give you more information on what your audience is watching. For example, I think that comes in around 1,000 subscribers or so. I'm not 100% sure. Um, and then, sorry, I kind of covered that, but are there part twos or a series that you can make based on your top performing videos? And that also goes for videos that you have enjoyed the most. And then what did I write here? So that's pretty much it for the audit. The only other thing that I would then add here is I said moving forward. Oh no, I think I did that already. Oh, I can't remember. I think the moving forward was meant to be something else, but I didn't actually complete it. But anyway, I feel like that is a lot, a lot of information that I have given you with regards to how um, the considerations that I take when auditing a channel, um, and also when auditing my own. so, so even when I look at these things, there's a whole bunch of different things that I haven't done that I want to do, and I feel I would benefit from doing. So it's a process. Mm, and I'm just catching up on the comments. And Lara saying people often commented on how they love your poetry and fabric stitching work. Hauls are your lowest. That is so interesting. Lean into that. If there's something that's going really well with your channel, then definitely lean into that, especially because it means that they know and like you. Like, do you know what I mean? It's almost like sometimes hauls is almost like doing a giveaway. Everyone's going to join because they love the giveaway or whatever it is. But when people want to stick around for you and for your art, that is when you start building wonderful communities like this one. And that is something special. So definitely like lean into that. Um, but are there any other questions? Because if not, I will let you go. I cannot believe that took like over 2 hours. um I'm trying to catch up on some of the comments, but I don't understand. In my video editor, I have a line of text with animation to make it a bit more intersection between scripture and art exercise. Um, so you're trying to say that you want to do, Lara, I'm just reading your comments. So you're trying to say that you'd want to do chapters, but you would use the editor to do the chapters to kind of signify where it is scripture time versus an art exercise. I think you could do that if you wanted to, but I think the benefit of doing, if this is like a series that you're doing, I feel like the benefit of doing chapters is to make them like search friendly. So I don't think that you would necessarily have to do that if the aim of the video is to do both prayer and art, because then they would know that from the title and the description. Oh, thank you so much, Colleen. I'm so glad that you've enjoyed it and that it's been inspiring and helpful. I really feel like there was a lot of stuff that I had to learn when I was starting off with YouTube, and I still feel like there's a whole bunch of different things that I need to learn. And I um, always really wished that I'd had a channel review and that I'd had someone that I could ask questions and just get the answers to. And although I'm not like the font of all knowledge, I hope that at least having me sharing a few of my insights is helpful. Feels art. I hope that you enjoy it when you watch it back. If you have enjoyed the video, then don't forget to hit the like button. As we've kind of alluded to already, my live streams always tend to struggle a little bit more than my edited videos, but I do feel like they're a wonderful way to cultivate the feeling of community and also giving back to the community, but also giving people the opportunity to like have a dialogue with you, which would otherwise be missing from an edited video, because there's only so much that you can say in the comments going back and forth. So hit the like button if you have enjoyed it. If you would like your channel to be reviewed next time, I have left a link down below in the description so that you can write your channel down, and I will do that next time. I have also released a new tier on my Ko-fi. So I now have 2 tiers, and you are more than welcome to join whichever one best suits you. So the new tier is now a Happy Mail tier, and on there I share watercolor dot cards. Which I'm really excited to do, but I also will share like Zoom sessions, live streams, exclusive videos, and more. And then as well as that, I will share the benefits that are in the other tier, and those include things like art challenges, more exclusive videos, and both of them have access to the Discord, which is essentially where I chat with different art members and everyone kind of chats with each other. It's just a wonderful sense of community. So if you would like to join, if you would like to chat more often, if you would like to be part of an art community, if you would like to support this channel, or if you would like to receive watercolor dot cards and Happy Mail as a whole, then please consider joining my Ko-fi. Like it really does. It does make a difference to my channel. It does keep me going, and it has stopped me from quitting YouTube many a times. So I cannot fault it at all. And I will leave the link for you because I always forget to link it, but I will send the link there now, and I'll put the link down below in the description. If you are watching on the replay, because I want to know, or irrespective of when you're watching, but especially if you're watching the replay, then let me know that you are watching by either telling me your channel name on what your channel is doing, or telling me a piece of advice that you have found helpful from this video. I really hope that you have enjoyed it and that you have learned something. Thank you so much, Katie. I reviewed your channel, by the way. So if you weren't here for that bit, and also Amanda, you already know I reviewed your channel. So if you weren't here for that bit, definitely go back and check it out, because I hope that you find it helpful and beneficial. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Enjoy the replay, and I will see you on Ko-fi, hopefully, or I will see you on the next live stream if you find these ones helpful. Thank you all so much, and until next time, bye.